Teacher tells me to keep my camera on during a blood transfusion, then gets mad at me for her being uncomfortable. I, female 16, emailed my teachers and I told them I'll be in the hospital getting an infusion for a chronic illness that I have and a blood transfusion, and I asked if they would mind if I had my camera off for the meetings. All of them said yes except for my history teacher. She said she needs to know I'm actually in the class. I tried to explain my situation and that I was uncomfortable with the class seeing me in the infusion clinic with my central line. I usually wear sweaters to cover it at home, but it feels weird when I wear a sweater over it during an infusion, and all my monitors. She basically said tough shit and that I need to show up for class. So the class starts and I log on to the meeting and you can very clearly see the central line in my chest, the 4-pole with the unit of blood, the monitors that go on my chest. I forgot what they're called. My teacher looked visibly uncomfortable the entire time and emailed me after class saying I made her uncomfortable and what I did was completely unprofessional. I reminded her that she said I had to have my camera on the whole time. Holy shit, this blew up. I wanted to clarify a few things for y'all. The reason I still went to class because I'd already missed a lot of school this year and was starting to fall behind, so I didn't want to miss more school unless it was absolutely necessary. Also, I know there weren't too many comments on it, but I wasn't wearing anything too exposing or anything. It was a low-cut shirt that I'd worn to school plenty of times, so I assumed it would be fine for Zoom. And my parents aren't on my side for this. They think all children need to respect their elders and the adult in the situation is always right, so if I do go forward with reporting her, I'm on my own. Now to the comments. I don't have advice for you, but I thought you'd appreciate another voice confirming that what happened to you was not right, or normal, or acceptable, and you are not in the wrong here. I know sometimes even at twice your age, I still need to hear that from as many people as possible to know I'm not overreacting. This person does not require or deserve an apology from you. I'd double down and say it is illegal. Our school cannot require cameras to be on because it violates FERPA. Additionally, the teacher forced OP to disclose some medical information. If the school had OP's diagnosis/record to account for extended absences, that info was forced to be disclosed. I agree they shouldn't be allowed to require the camera to be on, but how does FERPA have anything to do with that? I was looking into it due to my own school problems, but FERPA doesn't seem to cover that. FERPA covers school records and what school can and can't do with directory information. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure it isn't a FERPA violation. I'm sorry this happened to you. Please email your principal, chair of your school board and school administrator. By sending an email to 3+ people they will not be able to easily ignore it. It's amazing how many reports of wrongdoing get lost in the inbox when they're only sent to one person. You can say that you just wanted to know what was school policy since A. Your teacher told you to keep your camera on even though you explained how this would be a personal medical procedure, and B. Your teacher then told you that this was not the correct course of action. Best wishes. I second this. Email all three in one email and simply ask for a clarification of the camera policy and how you should proceed should there be another class meeting while you are in the midst of medical procedure. I suspect that was a pretty severe privacy violation to make you have your camera on during the procedure. You're 16. And she's concerned with your professionalism in school. Have your mom a caring, responsible adult. OP hadn't mentioned her parents were on teacher's side when I originally commented. Send an email to your principal with screenshots or copies of your emails with your teacher where she clearly told you she didn't care and her reaction for following her direction. What she did was unprofessional, and she deserves to be reprimanded. That also violates the right to privacy, which makes the school liable if they don't do shit about the teacher. Big money. 16. My actual bio parents, raised by my grandparents, would have been to the school already, my grandparents as well, and they would have called a lawyer. It is one thing to video yourself in a medical setting for maybe teaching purposes, like, so this is how such and such goes when you have X illness. But only if you are comfortable. Otherwise, that's just incredibly wrong, and your parents should have already had a discussion about it with you, your teacher, and any higher-ups. I saw that your parents are mad you. That blows my mind. I would email any higher-up you can, with her instructions to make said video, the emails you sent back and forth, and the video itself. Sometimes you have to take a stand on your own, and all the evidence will back you up. Sorry, this just upsets me on your behalf. Aside from medical privacy, I hate the camera on rule. Our internet is slow enough as is, and video feed is even worse. Teachers that insist on cameras being on have no idea what internet is like for some families. Our rural population is screwed over by ISPs. Yeah, pretty much. There is a Charter Spectrum line that terminates at both ends of my street, but doesn't come down it, even though my parents told them that they would be willing to pay for the materials. Also, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but that seems to be dangerously close to violating your right to medical privacy to me, because not only did she watch, but I'm willing to bet the whole class could see that, and that's not okay. I would definitely email multiple people from your school and possibly have your parent/guardian arrange a call with them. And maybe a lawyer. It doesn't matter if it's illegal. It's unethical. That matter to someone like a school board. People are unethical all the time. But if it smells like a possible lawsuit that they would lose, you bet people are going to bend over backwards for OP. What happened to you is very, very not right. Please do report this up the administration chain, to multiple parties. This should never happen to anyone. Contact the principal and the school board with copies of all the emails. Don't let this get swept under the rug. She needs to learn a lesson. You're a minor. Please speak with a parent or trusted adult. This is a massive breach of your privacy, including medical privacy, and it's probably a crime. I'm Canadian, unsure of what your jurisdiction is. I'd start BCCing the principal on all your emails to that teacher. Ha ha ha, screw that dude. As a former teacher, just ask the student 1 or 2 questions during the class. If they respond, you know they're there, without them having to tell the class about their medical stuff. Magic. In Australia, many students on remote farms have done school via radio for decades. It is entirely possible to teach remotely if there is a need to. Am I the only one shocked you had to attend school during a medical procedure? Isn't this a very valid reason to take a day off school? Wouldn't be in class if she was getting the procedure done anyway. Kick rocks, teach. Your teacher essentially disclosed your medical status to the whole class. As others have advised, it may be worthwhile to consult a lawyer. Schools generally have some level of responsibility to safeguard student medical information, particularly if you have an IEP or other established accommodations. And not only that, the teacher told her she would be required to live stream her medical procedures in front of the class, potentially humiliating her and violating her privacy, then has the audacity to criticize and humiliate her for following instructions. I'm no lawyer, but it sure feels wrong to be harassing a student over their medical condition and publicizing it without their consent. Make sure you write the words, "While I was very uncomfortable with it, my teacher forced me to go on camera without my clothes on, even after explaining I didn't want to do it." The school board will lose their shit trying to cover their asses. Make sure you keep the emails. If said teacher gives you grief over this and gets you into trouble, you'll have written proof of their unprofessional and clearly dehumanizing behavior. She called you unprofessional? Being a high school student is not a profession. Seems like she's definitely made being an unethical teacher her profession though. She needs to be reprimanded for this sort of behavior as it was totally unacceptable, unprofessional, and any other word starting with un you can think of.